Hey everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the studentloanjustice.org live stream for July 27th, 2022. Hope everybody's doing well. We are studentloanjustice.org. We are the first, oldest, largest, in many ways only true grassroots group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. We've been around since March 2005. We've been featured in the New York Times, on 60 Minutes, top story, in Forbes magazine, Fortune magazine. We've written stuff in Forbes magazine. Bah, Forbes is terrible. We've done stuff all over the media, guys. We've been on pretty much almost every show. I think every network at this point, every major network. Anyways, we've done a ton of stuff, guys. If you're new to the group, welcome. Tell everyone you know about this group. It is very important that people with student loans know about us, because we are fighting for actual student loan cancellation, and the path to actual student loan cancellation begins with restoring the constitutional right of bankruptcy to student loans, like it or not. Nobody wants to file for bankruptcy. The good news is very few people should have to file for bankruptcy when we get the right returned. But I am here to tell you that Joe Biden is never not going to do it. He is not going to cancel a meaningful he's not going to do a meaningful student loan cancellation unless and until we get the threat of bankruptcy back on our side, as it exists for every other loan in this country. That's just the truth. And so we've got a great bill to fight for right now, S2598. We're also talking about canceling student loans by executive order. Both of those things are thanks to this group right here. I kid you not. We would not have this bill to fight for, S2598, which returns bankruptcy to federal student loans that are more than 10 years old. Slight caveat there. We would not have that bill to fight for, but for the people on this group. I kid you not. We would probably not be talking about student loan cancellation by executive order, which is a very important little wrinkle there. Congress will never cancel student loans. It just ain't going to happen. The president can cancel student loans right now today under existing law without needing congressional approval, without needing a dime from the Treasury, without adding a penny to the national debt. Unlike, for example, PPP loans, which mostly went to rich people, by the way. Student loans mostly go to poor people. In fact, student loans 100% go to people who are determined to be financially needy. But that started with our group as well. In July 2019, we did a very important seminal interview with Vice News, where the reporter asked the question for the first time. And then we started the petition in March 2020, change.org/cancel student loans, calling for exactly that. And then like 6 months later, when our petition started blowing up in the media, then Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer embraced the concept and started running with it. We're not thrilled with what they did with it, because up to $50,000 is nonsense. And the way the whole thing is played out has been very partisan and stupid. So that's kind of another story. But that all started with this group, guys, this group. So this group is way more important than we may appear. So tell everyone you know about this group who has student loans. The one thing we've been missing over these 17 long, hard years of seeing Congress do nothing, the president do nothing. The one thing we've been missing is people willing to stand up and be counted. Well, now we've got over 1 million people on our petition. We've got a few 100,000 people across all of our other platforms, Facebook, Instagram, other stuff, YouTube, email. So we've got a large number of people together under the same tent, but we need all of those people fighting. We need way more than just your signature on a petition to win this battle, ladies and gentlemen, and that is just the truth. These are your loans. This is your problem. And right now, for the next 2 months, we are in the most important window of opportunity we have ever been in. Early voting starts first week of October. Democrats have control of the House, of the Senate, of the presidency. We have a great bill that could be passed tomorrow. All that stuff, I think, is either going to happen or not happen before the first week of, October, when early voting, by and large, begins. So we've got 2 months, ladies and gentlemen, 2 months, 8 weeks. And we've got to get this done. So if ever you were ever going to get off your ass, and I know many of you are, and I salute you, but not nearly enough, if you sitting there were ever going to get off your ass and fight for getting these loans handled, it would be over the next 2 months. So anyways, if you have any questions or comments on Facebook or Twitter, and if I can see them, I will very happily respond to them. So tonight, I just want to, we do a lot of research on this group, guys. Probably our stock in trade, or whatever you want to call it. What we do primarily is research, and we have broken some of the most important stories in higher education, going back to 2006. I kid you not. One of the stories that we broke in, I think it was December 2020, was the fact that older people outnumber younger people with student loans. I kid you not. It's crazy. We found that people over the age of 35 now outnumber people under the age of 35 with student loans. What's even more, people over the age of 50 now today outnumber people under the age of 25 with student loans. And in both of those cases, the older borrowers, the over 35, over 50, they owe vastly more than the under 25s, under 35s. So what is that? What's going on here? Like, if you look at like any other lending system, and you look at like loan versus years of loans versus the age of the loan, you see the balance go down. Like, you pay the loan off, most people do anyways, and over time, that's how that goes. Well, when you look at student loans, the opposite is happening. The older people get, the more they owe, not the less they owe on student loans. And that is all based on Department of Education data, which is the gold standard. There's no good data out there for student loans, by the way, having been doing this for many years, but the best we can possibly expect and the most defensible is from the Department of Education. And that goes directly back to publicly available Department of Education data. Quick addendum to that, I looked at the more recent numbers, and the more recent numbers are even worse. So the trend is getting even older, and the older people owing even more on average than the younger people. So it's more than what I just said. So I was thrilled today to see an article in the New Yorker addressing this very issue. And we've seen a few over the past couple of years, a piece by Elaine Shermer. And by the way, if anybody wants to forward this to her, she needs to know this, because we've seen 3 or 4 articles talking about older borrowers from The Guardian, other places over the past couple of years. And in none of those articles has the author or the reporter, the journalist, have they simply come out and said, older people outnumber younger people with student loans. That's kind of that's the lead. That is the headline. That should be the headline. It's the headline that's never been broken, and it's except by us. And so to me, it is just baffling that, and when we originally broke this news, we took it to some very hoity-toity places, and we've broken news all over the place. Chronicle of Higher Education, we took it to a bunch of people, a bunch of reporters that we know. And for whatever reason, they don't seem to be interested in writing that headline. Like, don't you think the people of the United States would be greatly benefit by learning that very simple truth, that older people outnumber younger people with student loans, and they owe, on average, far more? I think they would. I think that would change the entire conversation around student loans. But anyways, so we see a good piece here today. It's called The Aging Student Debtors of America. And unfortunately, Elaine Shermer, she does a very good job. It's a good article. She interviews like a 91-year-old woman who owes like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and so on. I invite you to read the article. But I just have to ask rhetorically, what's the deal? Why are journalists refuse to to write the very simple headline that nobody knows, which is that older people outnumber younger people with student loans. Anyways, it's baffling. So maybe forward this to her, Eleni Schirmer, ELENISCHIRMER, and that would be very interesting. And so I'm looking for your comments now. And I happen to know that, like, I think most the people on our group, at least it seems to me, and I could be wrong, I'd say the average age of people on our group is probably over 40 years old for sure, if not like 43, 44. Somewhere in there is my best guess. But the most vocal people on our group by far and away are over 50. So this is something that we've known about for years and years and years and years. And I can give you just a couple of examples. I don't know, and I'm not going to divulge your ages, but let's just say this is by and large the over 50 crowd. Like Christian, for example, from Wisconsin. Christian originally borrowed $78,000 years ago, back in the, I think, late 80s, when he started going to college. 80s, late 80s, I don't know. Probably 80s, or maybe early 80s, I don't know. $78,000 Christian borrowed. Today, Christian has repaid over $200,000 on this, what began as, I think, either $70,000 or $80,000 in student loans. So he's repaid roughly triple what he borrowed. He still owes $235,000 on his loans. So that is what is happening to older people, like Vanjie. In California, I believe. Vanjie originally borrowed $26,000. And if you're with us here tonight, Vanjie, hello. She's one of our diehards. $26,000 Vanjie borrowed. Over the years, Vanjie has repaid nearly $100,000 on this $26,000 loan. Yet, lo and behold, Vanjie still owes $132,000 the last time I checked. Again, I don't want to give away Vanjie's age, but she's getting up there. She's in her retirement years, and she can't retire. So that is just the tip of the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, it's not because of these Parent Plus loans. Parent Plus loans are terrible, and 3.1 million people indeed have Parent Plus loans, and these people are by and large over the age of 50. So Parent Plus loans are a thing, there's no doubt, for older people. That's true. However, if you subtract out the Parent Plus loan borrowers from the data, just don't count them at all, we see the average student loan balance for the over 35 crowd, it goes up, not down. So in other words, if you don't even count the Parent Plus loan, the Parent Plus loan balances are lower than the average student loan balances of the non-Parent Plus loan borrowers. So the over 35 crowd, the Parent Plus loans brings that average debt down, not up. So I guess what I'm trying to say is Parent Plus loans are not the cause of these outrageous increasing loan balances among older people. No, in fact, they have the opposite effect when you fold them into the data. So, hey, I see we have some comments here. Tara Rose says 55. That's right. I will let that speak for itself. I assume that's your age. Leslie Fishman says disgusting. Joanna Kern says good evening. I am here. Good evening, Joanna. And if there's any other over 50s out there who know about it, we are very happy. In fact, by far and away, our most drastic, I guess you could say, numbers that we see are from older people who borrowed 25 grand back in the 80s, have repaid $75,000, $100,000, still owe way over $100,000. Those are the sorts of numbers that we see on a routine basis. And if that's you, I'd love to get your numbers, and we'd love to make a little graphic for you. And I can even maybe show you what I'm talking about in terms of those graphics. this is going to be a little bit of a stretch, but I'm going to try and do a little screen share here, and we'll see if I can do this properly. Let's look at a couple of examples. So, and I'm pretty sure Karen's, well, I think I can tell you exactly. Oh, no, I can't. I know that Karen's over 50. Karen in Florida borrowed over 60, or borrowed 60, repaid 60, owes $250,000. That kind of speaks for itself. The entire state of Texas, by the way, owes 141 billion. And just going through my slides at sort of at random, the worst hit states, by the way, are southern states like Florida, where old people are. No offense to old people, I'm old, but I'm over 50. And the whole pie is there's 42 million distressed borrowers in the country, guys. That's nearly enough to elect a president outright. But let me just get back into here we go. Here's Christian I was just telling you about in Wisconsin. He borrowed $74,000. He's repaid $175,000, although this is months ago, and he's been paying like $3,000 a month. Christian is now a cook at a college, by the way. Grand irony of ironies. Owes $235,000. Tina in Oregon. I don't know what Tina has. I don't know Tina's age per se, but I'm guessing it's got to be over 50. Borrowed $25,000. Paid. You can see the numbers there for yourself. Paid $84,000. Still owes $111,000. There's Vanjie, who we just discussed. Again, these numbers are a little old, so I'm kind of thinking Vanjie is up right around $100,000 at this point. Here's Bob in New York, another great example. I know for a fact that Bob is over 60, over 62, which was kind of an important age for that New Yorker article from Eleni Shermer that came out today. Bob borrowed $20,000, has repaid that, and owes $170,000. These are the stories that come across my desk, guys. Deneen, I don't know where Deneen is. Here we go. Deneen is 69 years old. She took out $56,000 in student loans. She's paid back $106,000, double what she borrowed. Still owes $100,000. And she's never defaulted, by the way, she says. She says, I'll be 70 years old this year, and we'll take this loan, and we'll take this loan to the grave with me. Quote unquote loan. It's not a loan. This isn't a loan. This is a lifelong bond of indenture. We do not have to take, and I could go on, guys. I could go on. Tom in Pennsylvania paid more than he borrowed, owes way more than he borrowed. I don't know Tom's age, but anyways, I could go on, guys. Suffice it to say, this sort of a lending racket has no place in our country, and in my humble and very fierce and strong and well-studied opinion, this lending system is finished. Finished. It is a national threat, and I don't care if you can pay or if you can't pay. In my very strong opinion, nobody ever should pay another dime on their federal student loans. Ever. That doesn't help you. It doesn't help us. It doesn't help the government. The government's got all the fake money it needs. It doesn't help the people who are going to follow in our footsteps. It's terrible. The worst thing that you can do is ever repay another dollar on your federal student loans, in my very strong opinion. Now, people are going to do what they're going to do. We now know, by the way, that even before the pandemic, 58.9%, so that's nearly 2/3 of all the borrowers, were not paying on their student loans. So today, almost nobody's paying. In my best estimate is that if they ever try and turn this lending scam back on post-pandemic, I don't think even 15% of the borrowers will ever pay again. So if you ever find yourself paying money into these student loans, no, you should know that you are in the great minority of people, because nobody's doing it. Nobody's repaying their loans. I don't care. I don't know what kind of pressure you may feel that you're under to repay into this this corrupted, nationally threatening, weaponized, cancerous lending scam. But I would only urge you, and everybody out there that's within the sound of my voice, there's a repayment pause on right now for most loans. You should really find a way to bulletproof yourself, because these loans need to be taken to the bath and drowned in the tub. And that's a very conservative thing that I just said, by the way. There's no good reason for Republicans to be opposing us and Democrats supposedly being on our side. That's all nonsense. We're a fiercely nonpartisan group, guys. We pretty much can't stand either party. It's kind of a good cop, bad cop thing. So whatever your party leanings may be or may not be, we don't care. We're glad that you're here, and you're very welcome here, and we need you. Oh my goodness, do we need you. Now and for the next 2 months, I think I'm going to wrap it up here pretty shortly. Now and for the next 2 months is the most critical time for us, guys. We need you doing, at a minimum, our daily actions. Let me just dial that in for you, please. First thing I would say, get it if you want to help, and we need you to help, get a Twitter account. I don't care if you like Twitter or hate Twitter. I don't know if you like hater or hate Twitter. That doesn't make any sense. Get a Twitter account. I hate Twitter. Get a Twitter account. That's what we're doing. 80% of our daily actions are on Twitter. Like today, we were retweeting stuff to, by and large, Democrats, but also Marco Rubio in Florida. Our daily actions are very specially crafted on a daily basis. They are hand-tailored to the times. They're very specially targeted. If we could get 100,000 people a day doing our daily actions, this lending system would be gone within a few months. I kid you not, guys. That's enough people to overwhelm every congressional switchboard, to overwhelm every Twitter account of every one of our targets. Right now, only a few hundred people, it would appear, are doing our daily actions, and that is not nearly enough. So if getting these loans gone, moving on with your life is at all important to you, you will strap it on and you will join the rest of the people out there who I see, Vanjie and many others, who are doing the daily actions, and you'll do your part. Hey, we have a few more comments here, I see. Brenda Souza says, holy shit, how the fuck is this acceptable? Pardon Brenda's French. I love French, by the way. It is not acceptable. In no country on earth is this acceptable, especially the United States. Yet here we have it. Don't pay, guys. Don't pay. Don't pay. Don't do it. Don't. Find a way to not. It's not that bad. The federal lending, the federal loan goon squad is far more afraid of us than we should be of it. The people in Washington, D.C. hide and cower behind their computer terminals as they fuck us, pardon my French. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of this bullshit. We got conned. We got conned. And if you don't want to live the rest of your life under this con with your tail in between your legs, I strongly recommend that you get angry with us because we do not have to take this shit. This country was formed by guys saying exactly what I'm saying. Not exactly. They probably said, we do not, hath not to shit this take shall we, or something. I don't know exactly what they said, but guys, I'm telling you, this is nonsense. We don't have to take this shit, and your life is way more important than any podunk little cheesy rat trap of a Washington, D.C. Lending system that has gone out of control. The one thing that we're missing, as I've said before, is you. Hey, Jacques Abron is with us. Why can't we sue the lending system or something like that? You know, the bad guys, Jacques, they really pretty much don't need to break the law because they've already bought the law. You know, the founding fathers called for uniform bankruptcy rights in the Constitution. Yet here we are 250 years later. Student loans have been legally stripped of bankruptcy protections like no other loan in this country. It's insane. So the bad guys don't really need to break the law. We've seen any number of lawsuits come and go. I think there is a very valid constitutional lawsuit to strike down this one line of code that makes federal student loans treated differently from all other loans in bankruptcy court. That is a lawsuit I could see happening. But unfortunately, guys, jurisprudence in this country has failed us. They're all in on it. We can't find a constitutional attorney that's willing to mount that challenge. So maybe if we could raise $500,000 or $1 million and pay a credentialed constitutional attorney that might take that on. But even still, I don't think so. And I don't know why. It's baffling to me. I begged, almost literally begged, the president of the ACLU a couple of years ago to take on a constitutional challenge of the bankruptcy laws. And also, I can't talk. It's a very long legalistic conversation, but we were also guaranteed equal protection under the law in this country. We were guaranteed due process. And believe it or not, this is a bit of a stretch, but we were, both slavery and indentured servitude were abolished in this country, a la Article 13. So there are some very serious, very strong, to me, very obvious grounds there could be such a lawsuit, a constitutional lawsuit. But guys, we're not going to sue our way out of it because the lawyers in this country writ large have failed us. They just have. Don't look to the lawyers to solve this problem for us. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. Been doing this 17 years, guys. Don't be distracted. Don't think anybody else can solve. You are going to be what helps us solve this problem. You and me and everybody on this group. There's a lot that we can't control about this, but one thing that we can control are our own actions. And on that note, maybe I will even leave it tonight by this final plea. Go to our website, studentloanjustice.org. Go to the thing that says daily action, or you can just go to our little bit.ly link that I see down there, bit.ly/SLJ daily action. Do our daily actions every day for the next 2 months. Do a month worth of our daily actions if you've never done one before. It's quick. They're quick. You can do 1 day of our daily actions in like a minute most days. It's like retweet this, retweet that, retweet this. Or maybe call your senator or maybe email this guy. It's very simple stuff, guys, and they're fun. They're cathartic, by the way. They feel really good and fun to do, and you learn a lot doing them, and you become a very fine, fit, and fierce student loan justice warrior along the way. It's not hard to fight this fight, guys, but you've got to show up. And if you don't want many more years of your life sucked into this black hole of a failed lending catastrophe, then I strongly suggest get off your ass and help us. Now, to Vanjie and Jacques I've seen around, Brenda I've seen, Tara, Leslie, Joanna, obviously, Vanjie. These people are all doing the hard work. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes, and they are to be saluted. You all are to be saluted. All of you, tens of thousands of people out there who are helping us. I salute you. We are the pioneers, and we have a lot to be very proud of for how far we've come in the past 2 years. To everybody else, get off your ass. And if you're not going to get off your ass, if you think you're better than us or something, if you think you can sit there and eat popcorn and go, yeah, go solve this problem for me while I fucking space out on Facebook, then you need to just get out of our group because we don't want you here. You're no good to us. You're slowing us down. Sorry to be tough, guys, but fuck that. I've been doing this for too long. I want these loans gone. I want them gone. And the only way that's going to happen is when you get off your ass. You cannot unhear that. The country really needs you right now, by the way, if you haven't noticed. The country actually needs you, as corny as that sounds. We will be baffled and buried by the bullshit in the press and in Washington, D.C. if you continue to sit there and do nothing. And if you're not doing nothing, I'm not talking to you. Don't take it the wrong way. So, okay, folks, I think I'm going to leave it there at that. The very last thing I have to say, please donate. Please donate. Here, let me click it in. It's our fundraising is going to be frantic, absolutely frantic for the next 2 months. Our monthly email expense has jacked up to $1,600 a month. And in our universe, I know it doesn't sound like a lot. In our universe, that's a lot. So right now we need, I think, 28 or 9 people to donate $20 or more just so that we can make it through this week that we're in right now here, and we're on Wednesday. So please donate, guys. I hate to ask. Don't make me ask. I suck at fundraising. Can't fucking stand it. Pardon my French. I've been using a lot of French tonight, haven't I? Please donate. Just please do that. Very last thing. We very rarely sell swag. I tell you, I really suck at fundraising, guys. I'm not a salesman. But you can buy a hat and you can get a shirt. Get a hat, get a shirt. Here's the hat. The hats are super awesome and cool. They're purposely distressed, by the way. We only do like swag every couple of years or so, and this is a very rare limited edition deal. So get a hat or get a shirt. Maybe you'll be glad you did. I know you'll be glad that you did. Maybe they'll be worth something someday. Maybe they'll be collector's items. This is really a historical thing that we're engaged in here, guys. I hope to have some very good news for you soon, but I can't say anything more than that. So I'm just going to shut my mouth. I'm going to wish you all well. Ed is on vacation this week, so I will be with you tomorrow. I will see you guys tomorrow. How's that sound? All right, guys, get it done. Do our daily actions. Do our daily actions. Let me say that one very last time. Do our daily actions. Do a month worth of our daily actions. So good luck, everyone. Get it done. Godspeed to you, and God bless to all of us. Peace.